In life, one of the most powerful shifts you can make is the shift from seeking validation from others to becoming self-sufficient in your own worth. It's liberating, it's transformative, and it allows you to step into your true potential. But to truly understand this freedom, you must first grasp the concept of detachment, the ability to let go of the need to control or manipulate how others perceive you. What holds most people back from achieving their dreams, reaching their potential, and becoming the best version of themselves is an unconscious desire for approval. We spend our days asking ourselves, what will they think of me? Will they like me? Will I be accepted? This constant pressure to conform to someone else's standards or to fit into a box that society has defined for us is exhausting. And what do we gain from it? Nothing but anxiety, self-doubt, and a stifled sense of who we truly are. When we talk about detachment, we're talking about the ability to release the hold that others' opinions have over us. Detachment is not about disconnecting from the world or becoming indifferent to relationships and connections. It is about releasing the need to define yourself based on the reactions of others. It's about stopping the endless cycle of worrying about what someone might say or think if you do something different or take a bold step forward. The moment you truly grasp detachment, you take back control of your own narrative. You stop playing by other people's rules and you start playing by your own. The moment you stop caring about what others think, you unlock a level of freedom that most people will never experience. This is the freedom to pursue what you want without hesitation. This is the freedom to express yourself fully, to take risks, to fail, and to rise up stronger than ever. Most importantly, it's the freedom to do all of this without the crippling weight of judgment hanging over your head. When you stop caring about others' reactions, you stop giving away your power. Instead of relying on the approval of others to determine your value, you start to define your worth internally. Your confidence, your self-assurance, and your self-love all come from within. It's like turning off the volume on the external noise and focusing on the only opinion that truly matters, your own. Imagine what would happen if you woke up tomorrow and stopped worrying about what anyone else thought of you. What if you didn't try to fit into the mold of someone else's idea of who you should be? What would it feel like to make decisions based on your own desires, your own purpose, and your own vision? The result would be monumental. Suddenly, the things that used to make you anxious, the thought of being judged, rejected, or criticized, would lose their power over you. The first step in embracing freedom through detachment is awareness. You must become aware of how often you look for validation from others. Start paying attention to the little moments throughout your day when you base your actions on how others will perceive you. Do you catch yourself choosing an outfit because you want to impress others? Do you hold back from speaking up in a meeting because you're afraid of what your colleagues might think? Do you avoid pursuing your dreams because you fear the judgment of others? These are the small ways in which you give away your power every single day. Recognizing these patterns is the first step toward freeing yourself from them. Once you're aware of how often you seek validation, the next step is to start consciously shifting your focus. You must choose to place your attention on what truly matters to you. This might mean setting boundaries, stopping yourself when you begin to make decisions based on external approval, and reaffirming your belief in your own worth. Start small. Begin by making one decision today that's not based on someone else's opinion. Maybe it's wearing that bold outfit that feels true to you, even if it's different from what's in style. Or maybe it's choosing to speak your truth, even if you're uncertain of how others will react. When you begin to detach from the need for approval, you'll notice something amazing start to happen. You will begin to attract the right people into your life, the ones who see you for who you truly are, not for who you're pretending to be. The people who genuinely resonate with you, your energy, and your values will come into your orbit, and they will support you in ways you never imagined possible. These are the relationships that matter, the ones built on authentic connection, not superficial validation. At the same time, you'll begin to repel the people who have been holding you back, whether consciously or unconsciously. Those who have only been in your life to judge, criticize, or make you feel small will fade away. And as difficult as it may seem to let go of these relationships, you'll find that their absence makes room for the people who truly uplift and encourage you. You'll realize that the people who matter most are those who support your growth, who encourage you to be the best version of yourself, and who love you for who you truly are, not for who you think they want you to be. Another powerful aspect of detachment is that it allows you to truly own your choices. No longer will you find yourself second-guessing every decision or fearing the repercussions of not meeting someone else's expectations. You'll make choices based on your own desires, goals, and values. You'll stop asking yourself, what will they think? And start asking yourself, is this what I truly want? When you learn to make decisions from a place of internal clarity, you step into a new level of confidence and self-assurance. You become the author of your own story, and you write it exactly the way you want it. Finally, detachment also allows you to become unstoppable. When you stop caring about others' reactions, you free up an enormous amount of mental energy. That energy, which was once spent on worrying and doubting, is now available for you to direct toward your dreams, your vision, and your purpose. You become laser focused on what matters to you, and the distractions fade away. Nothing can stop you. Not the judgment, not the criticism, not the rejections. You are free to pursue your destiny with the kind of courage that can move mountains. In summary, freedom through detachment isn't about isolation or indifference, it's about empowerment. It's about choosing to live life on your terms with your values at the core of every decision you make. And when you stop caring about the opinions of others, you create space for the most powerful version of yourself to emerge. The chains that once held you back will fall away, and you'll step forward into a life filled with possibility, purpose, and true freedom. At the core of personal transformation is a fundamental truth that many people fail to grasp. You are your own source of validation. Too often we find ourselves looking outward for affirmation, seeking approval from friends, family, colleagues, or society at large. We attach our self-worth to the praise, recognition, and acceptance of others. But the moment you break free from this dependency and start validating yourself from within, your entire reality begins to shift. The power to change your life, to build your confidence, and to create meaningful success lies in your ability to truly validate your own existence, decisions, and actions. Self-validation is not a concept that is often discussed in our everyday lives. We are taught from a young age to seek external recognition. From grades in school to accolades at work, we learn that we are worthy only when others tell us we are. But here's the hard truth. This type of validation is fleeting, fragile, and outside of your control. If you rely on someone else's opinion to feel good about yourself, then you're placing the power of your happiness and self-worth in someone else's hands. You're allowing them to decide your value. The key to unlocking your true potential is realizing that only you can decide your worth. The first step towards self-magnification is shifting your mindset. Most people struggle with the concept of self-magnification because they have been conditioned to believe that they need others to affirm their worth. But you are not defined by the opinions of others. Your value is intrinsic. It is not dependent on how much money you make, how many people admire you, or how well you fit into the mold that society has set. Your worth is inherent. It is the combination of your unique qualities, your experiences, your beliefs, and your values. When you stop seeking outside approval and turn inward, you realize that you are whole and complete, just as you are. To begin this process, you must learn to celebrate your own successes, no matter how small they may seem. In a world that often looks outward for validation, we forget to acknowledge our own progress. Self-acknowledgement starts with recognizing your achievements and giving yourself credit. If you make it a habit to appreciate your own efforts, you shift your focus from the need for external acknowledgement to internal recognition. This will fuel your confidence and your motivation. You'll start to see yourself in a new light, not as someone seeking approval, but as someone who already possesses immense value. Another powerful aspect of self-magnation is that it allows you to embrace your imperfections and failures. No one is perfect, yet many of us live under the illusion that perfection is the standard by which we should measure ourselves. We beat ourselves up for mistakes and failures, believing that they reflect poorly on our worth. But the truth is, every setback, every failure, and every mistake is simply a lesson in growth. When you validate yourself, you accept that making mistakes is part of being human. You see each misstep not as a reflection of your value, but as an opportunity to learn, evolve, and improve. Self-manage means owning your uniqueness. In a world that constantly tries to mold us into a specific ideal, it's easy to lose sight of the fact that what makes you unique is what makes you powerful. Too often we try to fit into boxes, whether it's in terms of how we look, how we speak, or what we do, because we believe that this is the key to acceptance. But when you validate yourself, you realize that it's your individuality that makes you stand out. You stop comparing yourself to others, and instead you start celebrating your own journey, your own experiences, and your own perspective. The confidence that comes from owning who you are is magnetic. When you validate yourself, others will begin to do the same, and you'll attract people who appreciate you for who you truly are, not who you pretend to be. Self-talk plays an essential role in the process of self-commandedness. We are often our harshest critics. The voice in our heads can be filled with doubt, fear, and negativity, but in order to validate ourselves, we must change the narrative. When you start to challenge the negative self-talk and replace it with positive affirmations, you reinforce the belief that you are worthy. You start to speak to yourself as you would a close friend, with kindness, encouragement, and understanding. You stop berating yourself for perceived shortcomings and instead focus on your strengths, your potential, and your ability to grow. Self-government also allows you to set your own standards for success. In a society that is obsessed with external metrics, like the number of followers on social media, the size of your paycheck, or the status of your job title, it's easy to feel like your worth is tied to those things. But true validation comes from setting your own standards for what success means to you. Success isn't about meeting other people's expectations. It's about aligning with your own values and goals. When you validate yourself, you can create your own measure of success, one that reflects your dreams, your passions, and your vision for your life. You stop letting society's benchmarks determine your happiness, and instead, you create your own. In the process of self-inclination, it's crucial to practice self-compassion. Self-compassion is the ability to treat yourself with the same care, kindness, and understanding that you would offer to a loved one. Too often, we're quick to forgive others, but slow to forgive ourselves. When we make mistakes, we tend to beat ourselves up, expecting perfection in everything we do. But self-invasion involves giving yourself permission to be imperfect. It means understanding that you are human and that mistakes do not diminish your worth. When you approach yourself with compassion, you free yourself from the weight of judgment and criticism. You embrace who you are in the present moment, knowing that you are constantly evolving and growing. There's also a tremendous power in celebrating your uniqueness without worrying about how others perceive it. When you no longer need others to validate you, you begin to set your own pace in life. You create your own definition of success and move forward with the confidence that your journey is yours to shape. Self-meditation isn't something that happens overnight. It requires a continual practice of turning inward, recognizing your worth and celebrating your uniqueness. But when you begin this journey, you'll be amazed at how much power you unlock within yourself. The confidence, clarity, and strength that come from self-mitigation will propel you toward your goals. You'll no longer be held back by the opinions of others because your value will be anchored in the most solid place of all, within you. When you make self-education your daily practice, you create a life that is true to your authentic self. You become unstoppable, unshakable, and unafraid to pursue your dreams. The world around you will change, not because it needs to, but because you've changed the most important thing, the way you see yourself. In a world that constantly pressures us to conform, to fit in, and to meet certain standards, the power of being authentically you cannot be overstated. It is so easy to become influenced by societal expectations, by the opinions of others, and by the idea that we must mold ourselves into someone we're not in order to be accepted or successful. However, the most profound success and fulfillment you will ever experience in life will come from embracing your true, authentic self. Authenticity is not just a buzzword. It is a profound way of being. To be authentically you means to live with integrity and to be true to your values, your passions, and your purpose. It's about shedding the layers of who you think you should be and embracing who you truly are, flaws and all. This is not about perfection. It's about embracing your uniqueness, your quirks, your strengths, and even your weaknesses, and realizing that this is your superpower. Authenticity is the root of confidence, and confidence is the foundation of success. So why do we struggle with authenticity? The truth is, we are often afraid to show our true selves because we fear rejection or judgment. We fear that if we express who we truly are, we won't be accepted, loved, or understood. Society teaches us to fit into predefined boxes, whether it's in terms of appearance, behavior, career choices, or even values. We internalize these pressures and we begin to doubt ourselves. We start trying to be what others want us to be, thinking that if we can meet their expectations, we will be validated. But this only leads to dissatisfaction, confusion, and an internal conflict between who we really are and who we are pretending to be. The first step to being authentically you is to let go of the fear of judgment. People will always have opinions, and that is beyond your control. Some will accept you, others will not. But this should not deter you from being your true self. In fact, the more you embrace your authentic self, the more you will repel those who are not aligned with your energy. You will attract the right people into your life, the ones who value you for your uniqueness, not for who you think they want you to be. When you allow yourself to be authentic, you no longer need to seek external validation. Instead of looking for approval, you begin to seek approval from within. Self-acceptance becomes your foundation. This is the secret to building lasting confidence. The more you honor and embrace your true self, the more you begin to realize that your authenticity is magnetic. People are naturally drawn to those who are real, genuine, and unapologetically themselves. When you stop pretending to be someone you're not, you create deeper, more meaningful connections with others, and this brings about a sense of peace and fulfillment that is impossible to achieve through external validation. Another key to authenticity is embracing vulnerability. We live in a world that often values perfection, but the truth is that vulnerability is where true strength lies. It is through our vulnerability that we connect with others on a deeper level. When we open ourselves up and allow others to see our flaws, our challenges, and our fears, we give them permission to do the same. Vulnerability is a strength because it shows that you are willing to be honest and real, even when it feels uncomfortable. It takes courage to be vulnerable, but it is in this space of honesty and openness that the most profound growth and connection occur. Being authentically you also means rejecting the idea of perfection. Perfection is an illusion that keeps us stuck in a cycle of self-criticism and constant striving. We are taught to think that we must be flawless in order to be accepted or successful. But the reality is that no one is perfect, and those who are truly successful are the ones who have learned to embrace their imperfections and use them as a source of power. Your imperfections make you unique. They are what set you apart from everyone else. They are part of your story, and they make you human. One of the greatest obstacles to authenticity is the need to compare yourself to others. In today's world of social media and constant connectivity, it's easy to fall into the trap of comparing your life, your achievements, or your appearance to someone else's. But comparison is the enemy of authenticity. Every time you compare yourself to someone else, you diminish the value of your own unique journey. No one's path is the same, and your worth is not determined by how you measure up to someone else. When you stop comparing and start embracing your individuality, you free yourself from the pressures of trying to live up to someone else's standards. When you live authentically, you align yourself with your purpose. Being true to yourself means following the path that resonates with your heart, not the path that others expect of you. Authenticity requires you to listen to your intuition and trust your own inner guidance. It's easy to get caught up in what society says you should do. Go to school, get a stable job, settle down, follow the rules. But when you live according to someone else's blueprint for success, you risk missing out on what truly fulfills you. Authentic living requires you to step into your power, trust your instincts, and pursue the things that make you come alive. The beauty of being authentically you is that you can let go of the burden of perfectionism and constant self-doubt. When you live in alignment with your true self, the need to prove yourself to others disappears. You no longer feel the need to pretend, to wear a mask, or to hide parts of yourself that you fear others won't accept. You are free to make mistakes, to fail, to succeed, and to grow without the weight of judgment. Authenticity is also about living your truth, even when it's difficult. Sometimes being true to yourself means having difficult conversations, making tough decisions, or standing up for what you believe in, even if it goes against the grain. It may mean walking away from relationships, jobs, or situations that no longer serve you, even when it's uncomfortable. But living authentically requires courage. It requires the strength to trust that when you make decisions based on your truth, you will attract what's meant for you. The right people, the right opportunities, and the right experiences will flow into your life because they will resonate with the real you, not the version of yourself you've been trying to maintain to please others. Being authentically you also means giving yourself permission to evolve. Authenticity isn't static. It's a continual process of growth, learning, and adapting. As you go through life, your beliefs, desires, and goals will change, and that's okay. The true essence of authenticity is the freedom to grow and evolve without fear of judgment. As you change, you can embrace that change without worrying about how others perceive it. Your authenticity lies in the willingness to honor who you are in every moment, knowing that you are always becoming a more refined version of yourself. To be authentically you is to embrace your own power. It is recognizing that the truest version of yourself is not only enough, it is the key to unlocking your full potential. The more you embrace who you are, the more you will see the world reflect your authenticity back to you in ways you never imagined. It is in your authenticity that your greatest gifts, your deepest connections, and your most profound success will be found. One of the greatest obstacles that holds people back from achieving their fullest potential is their desire for comfort. Comfort feels good, it feels safe, and it offers a sense of security. It's easy to stay in a comfortable routine, in situations that are familiar, and with people who don't challenge you too much. However, the truth is that real growth, transformation, and success are found on the other side of discomfort. If you want to level up in your life, whether it's in your career, relationships, or personal development, you must learn to embrace the uncomfortable. Comfort zones are not your friend. They are the silent killers of progress and growth. The longer you stay within the boundaries of what is comfortable, the more you limit your potential. Growth happens when you step into the unknown, when you stretch yourself beyond what you think you're capable of, and when you tackle challenges that seem overwhelming. It's easy to believe that growth comes from a place of ease, but true, lasting growth often comes from the discomfort that accompanies pushing your limits. When you embrace discomfort, you are choosing to grow. This means stepping into situations that feel risky, that challenge your beliefs, and that require you to think, act, and respond in ways that you haven't before. It means choosing to take that leap even when you feel fear creeping in, even when you're not sure of the outcome. It's about taking action despite the uncertainty, trusting that you will learn and evolve along the way. Discomfort forces you to get out of autopilot and into conscious, deliberate action. It pushes you to think critically, to solve problems creatively, and to adapt quickly. The idea of stepping into discomfort often brings up feelings of fear, anxiety, and resistance. It's natural to feel nervous or unsure when faced with the unknown. But here's the key. Discomfort is not a sign of something going wrong. It is a sign that something great is about to happen. When you feel discomfort, it's an indication that you're on the verge of something new, whether it's a new opportunity, a new skill, or a new level of confidence. If you can train your mind to view discomfort as a positive force, you will start to seek it out rather than avoid it. Think of discomfort like a muscle. The more you expose yourself to it and push through it, the stronger and more resilient you become. Initially, it may feel awkward or challenging, but over time, you will start to build your tolerance for discomfort, and you will realize that the things that once intimidated you no longer have the same power over you. This is how you develop mental toughness and resilience. The ability to face challenges head on without shrinking back. The more you embrace discomfort, the more you will become comfortable with the uncomfortable. You will stop fearing the unknown, and instead, you will become excited about the growth and transformation that comes from it. The fear of discomfort often comes from our tendency to seek certainty. We want to know the outcome before we take action. We want reassurance that everything will work out before we make the leap. But the truth is, certainty is a lie. Life is inherently uncertain. There is no guarantee of success, no promise that everything will go according to plan. The only thing you can control is your ability to navigate the discomfort and uncertainty that comes with growth. The more you accept that discomfort is a part of the journey, the more you will be able to move through it with confidence and poise. Embracing discomfort also requires you to let go of the need for perfection. Many people avoid stepping out of their comfort zones because they fear making mistakes, failing, or falling short of expectations. However, it's important to recognize that failure is not the opposite of success. It is a vital part of it. Every mistake, every misstep, every failure is a learning experience. It's a chance to refine your approach, to develop new skills, and to become stronger. When you embrace discomfort, you embrace failure as a stepping stone to success. The most successful people in the world are not those who have avoided discomfort or failure, but those who have learned to fail forward, turning each setback into a lesson that propels them forward. Discomfort also forces you to expand your comfort zone. If you want to grow in any area of your life, you must consistently challenge yourself to step outside of what you know and push yourself into new territory. Whether it's taking on a new project at work, initiating a difficult conversation, traveling to a new place, or pursuing a new career path, the more you expand your comfort zone, the more you will realize that you are capable of far more than you ever thought possible. The discomfort you feel is just a sign that you are expanding your boundaries and stretching your capacity. Another critical aspect of embracing discomfort is the ability to develop patience and resilience. Discomfort often brings with it frustration, setbacks, and moments when you want to give up. It's easy to become discouraged when things don't go as planned or when the progress is slower than you anticipated. But it's in these moments that resilience is born. Resilience is the ability to keep going even when things are tough, to stay committed to your goals even when you face obstacles. When you embrace discomfort, you develop the inner strength to persevere, to adapt, and to keep moving forward, no matter how many times you stumble. You begin to see challenges not as barriers, but as opportunities to strengthen your resolve and deepen your commitment to your goals. Moreover, embracing discomfort requires you to develop a growth mindset. A growth mindset is the belief that you are capable of learning, adapting, and improving no matter the circumstances. People with a growth mindset do not shy away from discomfort. They lean into it because they understand that it is an essential part of the learning process. When you adopt a growth mindset, you see every challenge, no matter how uncomfortable, as a chance to expand your skills and knowledge. Instead of fearing failure, you embrace it as a necessary part of your journey toward mastery. The discomfort that comes from stepping out of your comfort zone is also where you discover your true potential. When you're comfortable, it's easy to believe that you've reached your limit, that there's nothing more you can do or achieve. But the moment you push beyond what's comfortable, you begin to uncover abilities, strengths, and qualities you didn't even know you had. Discomfort reveals your untapped potential. It forces you to tap into parts of yourself that you may have kept hidden or overlooked. By leaning into discomfort, you find a new version of yourself, a version that is more confident, more resilient, and more capable than ever before. Finally, embracing discomfort allows you to break free from the fear of judgment. So often, we avoid discomfort because we worry about what others will think of us. We fear being criticized, rejected, or ridiculed for taking risks or for stepping outside the norm. But when you embrace discomfort, you realize that the opinions of others are not as important as your own growth and happiness. You stop letting the fear of judgment dictate your actions, and you start living your life according to your own values and goals. In summary, embracing the uncomfortable is a mindset and a lifestyle choice. It requires courage, resilience, and the willingness to face fear head on. But it is in the discomfort that you will find your greatest growth, your deepest learning, and your highest achievements. When you learn to lean into discomfort instead of avoiding it, you will unlock new levels of strength, confidence, and success. One of the most powerful decisions you can make in your life is to take ownership of it. Ownership is more than just responsibility. It's a mindset, a way of living that allows you to take full control over your actions, choices, and outcomes. Most people go through life as passive participants, reacting to the events around them rather than actively shaping their own experiences. They blame external circumstances, society, their upbringing, their relationships, or their environment when things don't go as planned. But the truth is, taking ownership means accepting that you are the creator of your own destiny. When you take ownership, you stop allowing external factors to dictate how you feel, what you do, and where you're headed in life. Instead of placing blame, you take responsibility for your own decisions, emotions, and the direction your life is moving in. You realize that you have the power to change your circumstances, no matter how difficult they may seem. Ownership is not about blaming yourself for everything that has gone wrong, but about understanding that your response to every situation is entirely within your control. Your mindset, your actions, and your choices determine the quality of your life. Taking ownership of your life means accepting the fact that you are in the driver's seat. Whether you are facing challenges, setbacks, or opportunities, you always have the ability to choose how you react. You may not be able to control every external event, but you can control how you respond to it. The moment you take ownership, you stop seeing yourself as a victim of your circumstances. You stop believing that life is happening to you and realize that it is happening for you. Every obstacle, every setback, every challenge is an opportunity for growth and learning. When you take ownership, You stop making excuses and begin to make choices that move you forward toward your goals. It's easy to fall into the trap of victimhood, the belief that everything is happening to you, that the universe or other people are against you. But playing the victim is disempowering. It strips you of your agency and your ability to create change. Victimhood keeps you stuck in the same patterns, blaming others for your situation, rather than taking the necessary actions to change your reality. By shifting your mindset and taking ownership, you empower yourself. You realize that no one has control over your life except for you. It's not about denying that challenges exist, but it's about accepting that you have the power to rise above them. One of the key aspects of taking ownership is understanding that your past does not define your future. So many people allow their past experiences, whether it's failure, trauma, or missed opportunities, to dictate the course of their lives. They feel trapped by what has happened to them and believe that they cannot break free from it. But the moment you take ownership of your life, you release the power that your past has over you. You recognize that every new day is a chance to create a new story. Your past does not have to limit your future. In fact, it can be the very fuel that propels you forward. The lessons learned, the resilience built, and the wisdom gained from past experiences can become your foundation for a brighter future. Taking ownership also requires you to embrace the discomfort of change. Changing the way you think, act, and live is not easy. It requires you to confront your fears, doubts, and limiting beliefs. It asks you to let go of the old version of yourself and step into a new, more powerful version of who you can become. But taking ownership means that you stop waiting for someone else to change things for you. You stop waiting for the perfect circumstances or the right moment. You take charge of your own transformation. Every decision you make, every action you take is an opportunity to reshape your reality. You begin to realize that the only thing standing between you and the life you want is the willingness to step into the unknown and take the leap. Taking ownership also means being accountable to yourself. So many people make commitments or set goals, but they fail to follow through because they lack accountability. Ownership means that you no longer rely on others to keep you on track. You hold yourself accountable. If you say you are going to do something, you do it. If you set a goal, you work toward it consistently even when things get tough or when motivation wanes. Accountability is not about beating yourself up for mistakes or missed opportunities. It's about being honest with yourself and continuously striving to do better. When you take ownership, you recognize that no one else can achieve your dreams for you. You must take the necessary steps every day to make them a reality. Another powerful aspect of taking ownership is letting go of the need for approval. So many people spend their lives seeking validation from others, whether it's from family, friends, or society. They worry about what others think, and they often make decisions based on what they believe will earn them approval. But the truth is, no one's opinion matters more than your own. When you take ownership of your life, you stop seeking external validation. You make decisions based on your own values, goals, and desires. You become the authority in your own life, and you stop waiting for permission to pursue your dreams. Taking ownership also means taking initiative. It's easy to sit back and wait for things to happen, to hope for a breakthrough or a stroke of luck. But when you take ownership, you recognize that opportunities are created through action, not by waiting. You take initiative in your life, in your career, and in your relationships. Instead of waiting for the perfect time or the perfect circumstances, you make things happen. You understand that the longer you wait, the longer you delay your progress. Taking ownership means showing up every day, ready to do the work, ready to put in the effort, and ready to create the opportunities you want in your life. Taking ownership of your life also requires you to recognize and address your weaknesses. It's easy to focus on strengths and areas of success, but true ownership means being willing to look at the areas where you struggle. It's about acknowledging where you need to improve and taking the necessary steps to do so. whether it's developing new skills, overcoming fears, or addressing emotional blockages. Taking ownership means that you are committed to becoming the best version of yourself. It's about having the courage to face your flaws, accept them, and take responsibility for your growth. Finally, taking ownership means recognizing the power of your choices. Every moment presents a choice. You can choose to stay stuck in the same patterns, or you can choose to take a new path. You can choose to remain passive and let life happen to you, or you can choose to actively shape your future. The power of ownership lies in your ability to make conscious, deliberate choices. When you own your choices, you understand that the life you create is a reflection of those decisions. Taking ownership means understanding that you are the architect of your own life, and every decision you make builds the life you want to live. Whether those choices are big or small, they all add up to create your reality. Taking ownership of your life is the ultimate act of empowerment. It is a declaration that you are in control, that you have the power to shape your own destiny, and that your future is not determined by anyone or anything else but yourself. When you take ownership, you step into your power and you realize that you are capable of creating the life you want. One decision, one action, and one step at a time. If you want to achieve anything meaningful in life, you must be willing to fail. Failure is an inevitable part of any journey toward success. Yet it's something most people fear, avoid, or let define them. The truth, however, is that failure is not something to be feared, but something to be embraced. Failure is not a reflection of your worth or ability. It is a stepping stone on the path to growth, achievement, and self-discovery. We live in a world that often praises success and perfection while shying away from failure. People tend to celebrate those who achieve greatness, but what they often fail to realize is that those who achieve greatness are the ones who have failed the most. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is a necessary part of it. Without failure, there is no growth. Without failure, there is no progress. Failure is not a setback. It is an invitation to learn, adapt, and come back stronger than before. The fear of failure keeps many people stuck in their comfort zones, unwilling to take risks or try new things. They live with the constant worry that if they fail, they will be judged, rejected, or ridiculed. This fear often paralyzes them from moving forward. But here's the key. Failure is not something to be ashamed of. It is something to be celebrated. It's a sign that you are challenging yourself, stepping out of your comfort zone, and pushing the boundaries of what you are capable of. The most successful people in the world have failed countless times before reaching their goals. They did not let failure define them. They used it as fuel to keep moving forward. The first step in embracing failure is reframing your perspective on it. Instead of seeing failure as something negative, start viewing it as an opportunity for growth. Every time you fail, you are learning something new about yourself, about the world around you, or about how to approach your goals. Failure teaches you lessons that success can never teach. It teaches resilience, adaptability, creativity, and perseverance. When you fail, you are not losing. You are gaining invaluable experience that will make you stronger and more equipped to handle the next challenge. One of the most important things to remember is that failure is temporary, but the lessons learned from it are permanent. Every time you fail, you gain insight into what works and what doesn't. You learn what you need to do differently next time. The key is to not let failure stop you in your tracks. Many people fail once and then quit, believing that they are not capable or that they are not cut out for success. This is where most people go wrong. Success is not about never failing. It's about failing and continuing to push forward despite the setbacks. Think about the most successful people in history. Thomas Edison, for example, is often quoted for saying, "I have not failed, I've just found 1,0,0,0,0 ways that won't work." He understood that each failure was one step closer to success. Walt Disney was fired from a newspaper for lacking imagination and went bankrupt multiple times before creating the empire we know today. Michael Jordan, often considered the greatest basketball player of all time, was cut from his high school basketball team. They all experienced failure. But what set them apart was their willingness to fail and keep going. They didn't let failure define them. They let it refine them. Failure also teaches you the importance of resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back after setbacks, to keep going despite adversity. When you face failure, your response to it is what ultimately determines your future. Do you get discouraged and give up, or do you stand back up, dust yourself off, and try again? Resilience is built through experience, and it is developed every time you fail and choose to move forward. The more resilient you become, the more likely you are to achieve your goals, because you will not be deterred by obstacles or setbacks. Instead, you will see them as opportunities to grow, improve, and ultimately succeed. Another reason to embrace failure is that it helps you build character. The process of failing and recovering from it teaches you important qualities such as patience, persistence, humility, and self-awareness. It's easy to feel confident and capable when everything is going well, but true character is developed when things are tough. When you face challenges and failure, you have to dig deep and tap into your inner strength. You have to find the courage to keep going even when things seem impossible. It is in these moments that you discover who you really are and what you are capable of. Failure also encourages innovation and creativity. When things don't work out as planned, you are forced to think differently. You need to explore new ideas, try new approaches, and experiment with new solutions. Often the greatest breakthroughs happen after a failure. For example, Post-it notes were created after a failed attempt to develop a super strong adhesive. What started as a failure eventually led to a product that generated billions of dollars in sales. Failure pushes you to be creative, to think outside the box, and to find new solutions that you may never have considered if everything had gone according to plan. One of the biggest mistakes people make is that they try to avoid failure at all costs. They stay within their comfort zone, playing it safe and avoiding risks because they fear failure. But by doing so, they miss out on the incredible potential that lies outside their comfort zone. Failure is where the magic happens. It's where you discover your true potential, uncover hidden talents, and learn what you are truly capable of. The moment you stop fearing failure is the moment you unlock your ability to achieve greatness. Additionally, the more you fail, the more you develop a growth mindset. People with a growth mindset believe that abilities and intelligence can be developed through dedication and hard work. They view failure not as a reflection of their abilities, but as an opportunity to improve. With a growth mindset, failure is simply feedback, guiding you toward the next step in your journey. When you embrace a growth mindset, you begin to see challenges and failures as part of the learning process, rather than something to be avoided. Taking risks and being willing to fail also requires you to build your self-confidence. Confidence is not about being perfect or never making mistakes. It's about believing in your ability to handle whatever comes your way, no matter how difficult or uncomfortable. When you take risks and fail, you learn that you can recover from setbacks. You gain confidence in your ability to adapt, to learn, and to grow from your mistakes. The more you embrace failure, the more confident you become in your own resilience and ability to succeed in the long run. It's important to note that failing doesn't mean you're failing at life. It means you're learning, you're growing, and you're pushing your limits. Failure doesn't define who you are. Your response to failure is what defines you. It is your ability to get up, learn from your mistakes, and keep going that ultimately determines your success. When you shift your mindset and begin to see failure as a tool for growth, you will stop avoiding it and start using it to propel yourself forward. In the end, failure is not something to fear or avoid. It is something to embrace and learn from. It is a natural and necessary part of the journey to success. When you are willing to fail, you give yourself the freedom to try new things, take risks, and unlock your true potential. The more you fail, the more you grow, and the closer you get to the success you seek.